Hellenistic Proportions by Brenna Johnston. In this exhibition, Hellenistic Proportions, we explore 4 male sculptures placed in an online gallery with no specific order, from the Hellenistic period that demonstrate superhuman proportions. These sculptures from ancient Greece portray men with overly muscular physiques that make them appear to be beyond human. During the period in which these pieces were sculpted, men belonging to the Greek symposium were frequently displaying their copious amounts of wealth amongst one another. Often these displays of wealth led to the patronage of these Hellenistic sculptures. These men played a role in the development of Hellenistic style. During Alexander the Great's time as king in ancient Greek kingdom Macedon between 334 and 323 BC, an empire was created that was spread from Greece to Asia Minor, through Egypt, the Persian Empire, and India. This development not only led to diverse influences within Greece's culture, but also many influences within Greece's arts. Following his death, Alexander's successors, Diadochoi, divided his lands into their own separate kingdoms. This created new Hellenistic dynasties, the Antigonids in Macedonia, the Ptolemies in Egypt, and the Seleucids in Near East. The royal families belonging to these dynasties resided in luxurious palaces where Greek symposium was held. Symposium was a place for men of immense wealth to gather and mingle with one another through dinner, heavy drinking, and other various forms of entertainment. Along with this, symposium provided a space that encouraged absurd displays of wealth amongst the participating men, which often included artistic patronage. The Greek symposium was a place for men to be overly prideful. The period of time between the death of Alexander the Great and the rise of the Roman Empire, 323 BC to 31 BC, is known as the Hellenistic period. This period follows the classical period, which demonstrates perfection while depicting humans through art such as sculptures. This perfection in the classical period is defined by proper and exact proportions in relation to the human body that create immense realism or canon of proportion. As the Hellenistic period emerges, we see ancient Greece's perception of perfection change as new proportions depicting the human body materialize and go beyond what is considered realistic. These new proportions, particularly in relation to sculptures of men, exhibit overly defined muscles that are beyond what is naturally occurring among humanity. The artistic patronages that were arranged during the Greek symposium led to many of the powerful Hellenistic sculptures of men with defined muscles and larger-than-life proportions. Why? The Hellenistic style may have been influenced by men from the symposium who were using art to flaunt their larger-than-life wealth. This is the first piece of art in my exhibit. It's called The Persian Warrior. It was most likely a marble Roman copy of a Greek bronze original borrowed from the Vatican. Displays true Hellenistic drama as he's crouched down and powerfully begins to wield his sword. We can see that the warrior is using every muscle in his leg to work up the strength to protect himself in battle. His emotional facial expression tells us he's fighting for something he cares about, and his lack of clothing tells us he's so strong he doesn't even require clothing in combat. This is the next piece of art in my exhibit. It's a marble replica of the Farnese Hercules. It's Roman made by Glycon, and the original is Greek-made bronze version by Lysippos from the 4th century BC. Notice the great details added to the torso muscles, arms, and calves that are dramatic in size compared to his overall size. The overly swayed hips have taken contrapposto a step further, which has put this figure into a seemingly uncomfortable pose, but has made him appear comfortable in doing so. This sculpture does a great job of depicting a man with a great amount of strength with little effort involved, similarly to men born into powerful families. This bronze figure, circa 330 to 50 BCE, with copper inlays, is titled Boxer at Rest and is proudly displayed at the Met in New York. This figure wears nothing but gloves, a truly loud statement that emits masculine pride. Every inch of this man's midsection displays a defined muscle uncommonly found within everyday life. His head turns to the side as if he's prepared to rise at any second for a fight. A truly Hellenistic trait this statue is detailed with is the true emotional state this man seems to be in. And this is the last piece in my exhibit. It's located in the Uffizi Gallery and is titled the Gaudiya Torso, and it's made of marble in the 1st century BC. It's a Hellenistic piece that shows great artistic skill while it displays a man's torso flexing in an unnatural pose. The veins at the lower sides of the abdomen add great drama to the artwork, while each muscle this piece of art is equipped with works together to create a sense of strength that goes beyond humans. So in conclusion, the men in the Greek symposium often were encouraged to flaunt their wealth amongst themselves during the Hellenistic period, which resulted in frequent funding for art. These men were dramatic, loud, over-the-top, boisterous, and often ego-driven, which had an influence on the Hellenistic style.